I heard you've just become a manager. Congrats. After you assign responsibilities to the people you're managing, what will you do next? You could micromanage your team and ensure they do a good job, but they'll probably hate you for it. Or you could be hands-off and let them work with minimal interference. But don't be surprised when you get back work that looks nothing like you expected. If you want high-quality work from your direct reports without micromanaging them, it's helpful to understand what authors Ken Blanchard and Spencer Johnson call the 3 secrets of the new 1-minute manager. Understanding and implementing these 3 quick habits will ensure you get great results and ensure that your people actually like working with you. Secret number 1, 1-minute goals. If you don't give your people a clear goal to aim at, you're essentially blindfolding them and telling them to shoot an arrow at a target they can't see. A good manager takes the blindfold off and points at a target, but a great manager takes the blindfold off and lets his or her people pick the target and then adjust their distance from the target, so it feels like a challenging and fun game. In other words, great managers don't tell their people what their goals should be. They help their people set their own goals with the 1-minute goal setting process. Here's what a weekly 1-minute goal setting session might look like. Now note that this will take longer than a minute to complete initially, but once your people get familiar with the process, they will do the work up front, so future goal setting sessions will take just 1 minute of your time. Start by asking, what are you hoping to complete this week? Don't be afraid to stretch yourself. As they think of the different things they could do this week, ask, of those goals, what one could have the largest impact? Remind them of the 80-20 rule. If you have 5 goals, what one goal, if completed, would help the team more than all the other goals combined? As they think out loud and choose their most important goal, ask, can you clarify what exactly you plan to accomplish? Get them to explain the goal in as much detail as possible, and then say, now that you've clarified your most important goal, type out your goal with the steps you plan to take to accomplish your goal. Keep it to less than a page. Then after you've written out your goal, email it to me so I can review it and approve it. By getting your direct reports to write out their goals and share them with you, you force them to clarify their goals and ensure that you and your direct reports are on the same page. And you avoid the situation where you thought they understood what they needed to do, but were mistaken when you get back work that looks nothing like you expected. After a direct report sends you his or her plan, tell them, now print out your goal and keep it in front of you. Then at the end of each day, take a minute to ask yourself, did my actions today get me closer to completing my goal? At this point, your direct report has created a game that will keep him or her engaged and focused. They have a clear target, a time limit, hit the goal by the end of the week, and regular feedback. Having a game makes work more enjoyable, but only if you can play the game. If a direct report lacks the skills required to do a task, it doesn't matter how clear the goal is, they're going to be disengaged. This is where the second secret of the new 1-minute manager comes in, 1-minute praisings. Suppose one of your direct reports needs to use a new software program to complete a task. You give her a self-guided tutorial and tell her to come to you if she has any questions. She doesn't return, so you assume that she's learning rapidly. But later you learn that she was stuck and frustrated, but didn't want to come to you with a stupid question, so she kept spinning her wheels. This is what you should have done. Ask your direct report to share her screen. Then watch her figure out the new software. If you sense that she's nervous, say, don't worry, I'm only watching to catch you doing something right. When you see her starting to understand a new command, turn up the emotion and say something like, nice, you figured out how to use command XYZ. This is going to help you, and then explain a few things she'll be able to do as a result of learning this command. Then pause and give her a chance to feel some pride. Then encourage her to keep learning and try another command. At this point, you've completed a 1-minute praising. First, you've specified what they did right and why it's important. Second, you've paused to let them feel good about it. As detailed in the book Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg, letting a feeling of pride wash over someone rapidly wires in a new behavior. And then third, encourage them to keep learning. These 1-minute praisings should be handed out early and often in a learning phase for any approximate success. Think of it like encouraging a child to walk. Initially, you praise them for standing up and taking a wobbly first step and then falling. You don't hold your praise until the child can sprint across the room like Usain Bolt. No, you praise anything that looks like progress. Praising early and often is the best way to accelerate learning and the fastest way to increase the confidence of your people. At the start of any new task, it's okay to watch your direct reports like a hawk as long as you're there to deliver 1-minute praisings. Then you must slowly back off the praisings and encourage your people to praise themselves each time they use what they've learned. Once you know a direct report knows how to do their job and hit their goal, but get lazy and miss their goal, it's time for a 1-minute redirect, the third secret of the new 1-minute manager. The authors in the book use the following sports analogy to illustrate the 1-minute redirect. It's the championship game, and a star basketball player is playing terribly. Unless he picks up his game, his team will lose. So the coach takes him off the court and tells the star player exactly what he's doing wrong. You're missing easy shots, you're not grabbing any rebounds, and you're loafing on defense. I'm angry at you because you don't look like you're even trying. Then the coach pauses for a long moment and says, "You're better than that. You need to sit on the bench until you're ready to play the way you're capable of playing." After what seemed like forever, the player stood up, went to the coach, and said, "I'm ready to go in, coach." "Okay, get back in there and show me what you can do," the coach said. When the player went back in, he was all over the court, diving for loose balls, grabbing rebounds, and making his usual shots. Thanks to his effort, the team improved their play, and they won the game. In that short story, the coach delivered a 1-minute redirect by first telling the player exactly what he was doing wrong, then telling the player how he felt about it, and then letting that disappointment and that emotional pain sink in, but then reminding the player he was better than his mistake. This 1-minute redirect sounds simple, but most managers fail to do it correctly. Most managers fail to catch mistakes quickly and point out exactly what someone's doing wrong. In many organizations, managers wait till the annual performance review to tell a direct report what they've done wrong and why they're getting a low rating. And some managers give critical feedback without personal reassurance. By failing to remind someone that they're better than their mistake, they leave that person feeling worthless and unmotivated. As a manager, you must always find a way to say, "You screwed up, but you're not a screw up." Or, "You did something bad, but you're better than that." In the end, your success as a manager will come down to 3 simple habits, which are known as the 3 secrets of the new 1-minute manager. First, clarify goals with weekly 1-minute goal setting sessions. Second, praise your people early and often in a learning phase with 1-minute praisings. And third, give quick and painful feedback, but then reaffirm your belief in your people by giving 1-minute redirects. When you consistently execute these 3 habits, the people you're managing will learn to clarify their goals, give themselves praise for progress, and correct their mistakes while maintaining their self-esteem. Your job is not to manage your people, but to get your people to manage themselves. As a 1-minute manager in the book says, no person ever really works for anyone else. Deep down, people like to work for themselves. That was the core message that I gathered from the new 1-minute manager by Ken Blanchard and Spencer Johnson. This is a classic management book. It's actually really short and enjoyable to read. I highly recommend it. If you would like a 1-page PDF summary of insights that I gathered from this book, just click the link below and I'll be happy to email it to you. If you already subscribed to the free Productivity Game email newsletter, this PDF is sitting in your inbox. If you like this video, hit the like button and share it with a friend. And as always, thanks for watching and have yourself a productive week.